Thank you all for sticking out the whole day. Thank you to our sponsors of the meeting for making this happen, and thank you to all the speakers for what they've managed to accomplish today. We just wanted to take a few minutes to summarize, and again, I got charged with helping to end this on a high note so you don't all go away depressed on a Friday night. And so this morning, we heard some sobering facts about climate change and its effect on water and the hydrologic cycle. And we heard from some people who are on the front lines of climate change's effects on water and the challenges that it poses to our existing institutions. And it kind of set a tone that was pretty sober, and I blame Bill for not putting any pictures of puppies in his presentation. But there were a couple of nuggets that I thought were very positive that I'm going to take home with me and think about over the weekend and in the future. And the first one was a figure that Peter Glick showed us, and it was an exponential curve. And he talked about an exponential curve of population and an exponential curve of carbon dioxide and many of the other bad things that exponential curves imply. But it also means that there are more gifted scientists and engineers and planners and people engaged in public policy alive now than have ever been alive before. And there are more computing speed and more tools and technology and social media for addressing these problems. And so if the problem is solvable, it's solvable because of that exponential curve. And that's one of the great things that the university does. It rides this exponential curve at the front end of it and offers solutions to society. The other thing that I saw today that I thought was impressive and gave me hope was maybe thinking about if we tried to convene this meeting 25 years ago with people from the same disciplines. And it would have felt like 3 or 4 separate meetings going on simultaneously, because the language that people would have used and their understanding of the problem would have been completely different. And even though we each approached this from the lens of our own disciplines, we're starting to see the problems the same way, and we're starting to share a common language for discussing it. And I think this is the perfect time to do truly interdisciplinary research and leverage the skills of the many talented people at Berkeley to make a major difference. So there you go. That's 2 things that you can take home with you and maybe end on a higher note. David, don't blow it.
First, I want to say very quickly, as they say, if you didn't read the book, you can wait for the movie. So if you missed anything today, I want to thank our audiovisual crew. Everything will be on YouTube and an iTunes U sort of course for the long term. And since you could only go to one of the panels, your assignment is to go home, and when these come out, go watch the other panel. So thank you very much for all the equipment. Very nice job. Many years ago, I remember reading an essay of literary criticism, and it said that only fiction can tell the truth. And it's actually stuck with me as a very powerful statement. All of us are in our disciplines, we're in our silos, and of necessity, if I'm going to study biology, then I don't understand fully the climate. And if Max is studying the economics, he can only tackle the biology, well, he tackles biology better than most economists, we know that. But when we go into our silos, we necessarily, and paradoxically, by searching for this great understanding, we necessarily can't tell the truth, because we're only allowed to speak on that on which we have expertise. And this is true of fiction. Fiction tells the truth. And why do we read great books? Because they tell great truths. And we read journalism because it can tell the truth, because it does not have to respect those boundaries. And I think one of those opportunities that is there is to weave this story together and tell that truth. This is the challenge that we face in the university. And many of us, and I feel like I'm quite early in my own career here in trying to see what it really means to tackle interdisciplinary problems, and what it really means to reach across those boundaries and find the actual truth that weaves us together. The world's problems don't respect disciplinary boundaries, and we know that. And they are of necessity, and they are in and of themselves integrated. And we've parsed them up into pieces, and then we try to tackle them, and we wonder why we have so much trouble. So I hope that my positive note will be just, I hope that especially for students and postdocs, younger researchers, that you see that we're at a great moment to reach across the aisle, reach across disciplines, and really try to seek a deeper understanding and move forward with solutions to these great problems. I want to thank the Philomathia Foundation again. I want to thank all of you and all of the speakers for what was a very, very enjoyable day. Thank you very much.